Hi guys, welcome back to Mr. Moves Models. Today we're going to be continuing with the 172 Tamiya Tornado. This is going to be the 7th part of the build, and today's aim is to get some of the decals on. So what we're going to do is get the cameras pointed down at the bench. I'm going to try and use a couple of cameras, this one and the iPhone, and gets all two different angles, and I will show you how I put the decals on the aircraft, which is basically how everybody else does it. So if we can get decals on today and then get a clear coat on them a little bit later this evening, and then tomorrow weathering and bringing it all together and a few photos for the final reveal. So it's going to be really close cut, this one, but I think we're going to get there. It might be that what happens is that I'll try and get this video edited tonight if I can, and it might be that whatever I do tomorrow video wise I won't actually edit until maybe Sunday, but on Saturday I'll certainly try and get it all together and get some photos for the final reveal for the group. So anyway, as to not lose too much time, I'm going to get the cameras moved around, going to get them pointed down at the bench, and we'll get cracking. Right guys, so decal time. I was originally planning to use some aftermarket decals, but as the best laid plans never go to plan, they just disintegrated as soon as I showed them some water. So it's going to be using the kit decals. So there we have them. Just bring them up to the iPhone, see if we can get a decent close up here. I know Tamiya decals generally have a reputation of being not the best, but I think these are basically Italieri decals. Says they're printed in Italy, so with that I'm hoping they're going to be a little bit better than the original Tamiya decals. So here we have the side views, and here we have the overview of the scheme. I just need to make a quick decision about whether I'm going to go for 2.9 squadron or 6.5 squadron, and I think I'm going to go for 2.9 squadron. Reason being, I've got a Typhoon from 2.9 squadron. Well, I've got some decals to do a Typhoon from 2.9 squadron later, so we'll do that. My principle of doing this is generally I'll try and get the big decals on first, and then sort of work my way back into smaller decals, and the stenciling afterwards. And sometimes some of the stenciling just gets skipped. Ideally for this you want to use warmish water if you can. The only problem I find trying to use warm water is that it gets cold very quickly. So with that you're going to be using cold water anyway, so generally what I tend to do is allow them in the water for a little bit, bring them out, put them aside there and just give them a bit of rest. So going to be starting on these decals here on the air intakes. So I'll try to do side to side at the same time, and I'll also try and get this one here on the tail, so decal number 7 and decal number 10 in as well, and that'll be some of the big ones done. So yeah, that's that. Other than that guys, I mean, things are coming along nicely with the kit. I need to push on and get these decals on tonight, and then get it gloss coated if I can tonight as well. And then that means that tomorrow, Saturday the 17th, last day of the build, I have got the time to push on and get the weathering done. And this is just going to be a very quick clay wash, nothing fancy, and it is going to be then covered with satin varnish, and then little bits and bobs on, like landing gear and stuff like that, and weapons, and then hopefully we'll have it done for the end of the group build on Saturday evening. That's the plan anyway. So try and get rid of these little ones here. So see whether these start to move a little bit. Not quite. Sometimes I find when they're a little bit stubborn, all I do is I'll just get a little bit of water from pet and then just I know some guys use like the coffee cup warmers, the USB ones that you can plug in, and you can kind of keep it warm that way in theory. But I don't tend to. Oh, I've just realised I haven't painted that metal yet. Damn it. Damn. Okay, well, that'll get painted by hand later. That's for that and that. I've just realised that I missed painting a bit of detail painting, but it's alright, we're not in a rush or anything. So the first two sort of side decals on, there we go, looking quite nice. What I'm going to do is just get a couple more on with you here, and then I'll get the rest of it done off camera and show you how I've done it after, how it's come together afterwards, simply because I think it's going to be a long process, so you don't want to sit here just watching me boring to death. So let's get these on the tail here. I'm also going to try and put some air intake covers on top, so I needed to get those decals on first anyway. So this one goes around there, and it is going to be quite often I find that I end up playing around with decals quite a lot. I'd say I don't find it frustrating, I just sometimes find it a little bit hard sometimes to find where I'm getting them compared to where the instructions go. But that is life. A little bit further up, I think. So yeah, so guys, I don't know what you think about decaling. As I say, I think it's one of those bit like Marmite and lower height. And one thing at the end of the day that decals do, it brings the kit to life, doesn't it? You know, I mean, up to that point, it's just a blob of plastic, really. As soon as the decals start going down, then all of a sudden it starts to become a little bit more of a realistic object. Right, so what I'm doing here, I'm trying to get the lining up as good as I can. So I kind of use a little bit of eyeballing from each side, that's not too bad. And I try to use some landmarks. So with my tweezers, I'm going to come down and squeeze onto there, so that's not too bad. So I think it needs to come back a little bit. There we go. And just down a tad maybe. It is only one of those where you just want to spend a little bit of time doing it. But you know, as I say, I think it adds so much to the kit, I really don't mind doing it in the end. The time and effort is certainly worthwhile, like BI. So there's a couple of things I realised here that I haven't painted on, but I'll just come back and do those afterwards. I think tonight's going to be a late night for me. I think I might end up skipping them. I'm due to go out and meet up with some of the guys from work tomorrow for rugby, well, for watching the rugby, but yeah, I somehow think that's going to be skipped in favour of a bit of bench time, to be honest. Which I don't mind. I mean, I'll stick the rugby on the iPad and watch it here, probably instead. It's just one of those. Would have been nice to go out and meet up with the guys and have a few beers, but, well, met up with some friends today and had a lovely meal, so it's not like we haven't had any social time recently. And, you know, I like getting this stuff done, so okay, so they've got a few markings on. I've got quite a bit to go on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the cameras because it's going to be a really long video otherwise. And I will come back and bring you in and have a look at it afterwards. Just let's zoom it all the way in, all the way in, all the way in, all the way in. There we go. And let's just have a quick look at here, get it to focus. There we go. So there's the air intakes on that one. Make sure we stay in focus, and obviously you've got the tail here, and bring that up to the top camera there. Decals don't actually look too bad. I think they're going to go down alright. I think I'm going to need to cut through them with a razor blade afterwards to be able to get them to conform to the panel lines when I look at putting down the micro sole. Well, once I put down micro sole, I've got them down a little bit, I'll come back and run around with a blade just to make sure that they're all done fine. Cool. So, also that probably needs a bit greater. As I say, I'm going to stop the camera, guys, and then I'll come back and show you how it's done. Right, guys, so sit rep or progress report on the decals, how we're getting on. We're getting there gently. I've got all the stenciling along the top of the aircraft here, which has come on quite nicely. So I always struggle with these long sort of walkway kind of decals. Sort of those. I think maybe in the future what I'll have to do is actually cut them down and then apply them to smaller bits, and that might be easier to align. But nevertheless, they're down. They need a coat of micro sole. Just pop up to the iPhone there, and hopefully you'll be able to see them nicely. There we go. So that's coming along alright. On the sides here, we've got those markings that we put on in the start of the video. They're on. We've got the roundels on. We've got some of the decals on around the side here, and we've got the roundels underneath. So starting to look the part, gently come together. I'll just pop that to the iPhone, so hopefully you'll be able to see if I do a slow turn. There we go. There's a few scratch and bumps in the paintwork, but you know, I don't mind that. It's just going to playing to the weathering. I mean, it's not going to be a perfectly brand new aircraft as far as I'm concerned. One thing I have noted though is just here on the cockpit, I'm going to have to sort of just brush paint some barley grey on there because it's not ideal. It's a bit dark for my liking, so I must do that before we uncover the canopy. And there's a few things which will need brush painting in as well. So on the instructions it calls out for some black markings here on the tail planes. Let me just pop it there. So black markings here on tail planes, but I'm not think I'm going to bother with those. Some markings here on the shoulders of the wing roots, but same again, I think it'd be alright. But I need to paint out these bits here on the outer of the wings, and I did see something else, and also just here along the tail, there's some black marking here on the radar warning receiver or something as well, and across the top of the felt. So, but we're painting those with a heavy stick. It's black, so I'll just use some Vallejo paint. So it's coming along quite nicely. So we will crack on again, get the last few decals on. I need to find some decals for the weapon systems and get those on the Sparrows, the Sky Flash and the AIM 9s. There should be some markings on there, so I need to check those out. And yeah, I suppose coming there. So I'm going to switch cameras back off, going to carry on cracking on and off camera, and I'll get back to you once I've got a few more decals down. So guys, decals. So yeah, they've come on all right, I think. I've got all the decals on, and I'm quite happy with the way it's looking at the minute. There aren't too many decals on this Tornado, thankfully, so that's all good. I struggled a little bit with the decals around the walkway markings or whatever they are up here. I struggled with them, but we got them down. Then we had a little bit of trouble just on the side here. The fin flashes, I couldn't see any on the decal sheet from the kit, so I found some spare, so they went on all right. But no, it's looking all right. Underneath, there aren't too many underneath on the decals, but there they are. Let me just pop it up here so we get a nice close-up view from the there we go. So from that side there, looking all very nice, and that side there looking all very nice as well. So I've also done a bit of detail painting here. As you can see on the side view, I've painted the metal bit around the exhausts. Oops, not that one. Just here, painted that up, and I've also painted this up here. So just looking at it from down there, the piece of metal work around the gun I hadn't painted correctly, so I've rectified that. And also whilst it's there, I've just put a little dab of paint on over the canopy as well, because it looked a bit dark. So all in all, we're quite happy with the way it's turned out. So the plan now is to gloss coat it in the morning or in the afternoon. We'll get some gloss coat down, and then we've got time for some weathering and such forth. I've also, whilst being at it, worked on the fuel tanks here. So I've got some decals on. I stole some decals from a spare Revell sheet, so we're happy with that there. And I've also got some decals on the pylons here, so and there we go, fantastic. So overall, quite happy. It's looking very much apart now. She's got the clothes on. We just need to let us dry back. What I'm going to do before going to bed is I'm just going to put a last little coat of microsol over the decals, and that'd be grand. So all in all, pretty chuffed. So what I'm going to do now is pop the camera back round to its normal position and say my goodbyes and take it from there, guys. So guys, I'm filming this on Saturday the 17th, which is originally due to be the end date for the group build, but I found out today, well actually before going to bed, I found out that we've got a week's extension. I found out whilst I was catching up on Ben's builds, Tamiya Fighter that he's entered into the group build, who's done a cracking sort of video series there. It's really enjoyable to watch, so go and watch this stuff. So today I've carried on a little bit of work, but there's a little bit less pressure on because we've got a whole week now before finishes. But what I've done today is I've gloss coated, and let's see where we can get the light to reflect off this thing here. There we go. So hopefully you'll be able to see that it's nice and shiny. There we go. And that is preparing the surface ready for a clay varnish to get those panel lines to pop a little bit. And the way I did that was I used some of this stuff here. Let me just bring that into focus. There we go. This is Mr. Hobby's Super Clear Free GX100, and I thinned this down 50/50 with Mr. Hobby's self-leveling thinner. There we go. I find it's a great varnish, great clear coat, very easy to use, gets great results. So that's what I've been doing today. Other than that, I mean, we've just been pushing on, sort of glossing the weapons and stuff like that as well, all ready for starting the weathering, which I'm going to start tomorrow. So yeah, I'm quite glad we've had this extra week to get the build finished. It means I haven't had to rush it through today, and it means that I'll be able to enjoy the last few days of building this aircraft. And I've also been catching up a bit on what people have been doing, not just Ben's builds, but Ian Poulton. I saw his little final reveal for his entry, which is a tiny little 1 to 200 scale, I think bow fighter as well, which is mounted like on a picture frame, and it looks great. So if you haven't seen if you haven't been recently onto the group on Facebook and had a look at what people are doing, I'd encourage you to do so, because there's been some absolutely fantastic work on this group build, and I imagine there's going to be some more in the next few days coming up with the in fact the final reveal dates coming up next week. So for me, the plan is, as I say, clear wash today, satin varnish afterwards, oil work, and bring it all together ready for a final reveal for next Saturday. And that should be easily doable because I'm actually quite lucky. I've got a bit of time off from work over the next few days. So with that, all I've got left to say is a massive thank you to anybody who is commenting on the videos, who's giving me feedback. I try to take it on board, and I really appreciate it. A big thank you to all those who've subscribed to the channel, who share the videos and been giving me the encouragement. And I really am grateful for this community. I mean, the more you share with me, the more I want to share back with you, and I think it's great. Sort of like that, it goes in that two-way process. So with that, all I've got left to say really is have a great weekend, guys. I hope you get some good time at the bench and that you spend it doing some nice work. So happy modelling. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.